Legion Tactical Cutlery.
Hold the line!
Hey everyone, how you guys doing? Grugs here, Legion Tactical Cutlery. Welcome back once again, troops, legionnaires, and any new recruits. As always, really appreciate you all taking the time to check out my channel and my videos. We made it to 10,000. Thank you all. All right, today we are going to be testing out the Lengren King Kong II in Sleipner Steel. Let's put it to the test. What's everybody carrying today? Well, appropriately enough, I've got my Lengren darter here, and I am carrying this on the small of my back. What are you all carrying? Veterans, active military, as always, just want to say thank you very much for your service. We really do appreciate it. Enjoy the video. Quick specs for you troops. Once again, this is the Lengren King Kong II. Overall length, 11.8 inch. Blade length, 6.75 inch. Blade steel, Sleipner Steel. Blade hardness, 61 to 62 HRC. Blade thickness, 7.5 millimeters. Handle length, 5.05 inch. Handle material is a black G10 with red G10 liners. Weight, 21.16 ounces, and it features a full tang, recessed lanyard hole, a awesome Kydex sheath, and a leather belt loop. Quick close-up of this knife, troops. An awesome tanto for all you tanto fans out there. Flat ground, mid-saber. Full tank goodness, lots of jimping. Spine is not too sharp, but we're going to try this area over here and see how that works out. It has this kind of a weird sharpening choil that may act as a finger choil. I think it'll work just fine. Beautiful G10 handles. And as you can see, G10 red liners. Okay, they also do come in a couple other different flavors and colors, so go check this out on Amazon. There will be a link in the description. Recessed lanyard hole, which is cool, and I did add that lanyard. Removable scales, some very, very small logos. You know, the Lengren logo, Sleipner Steel logo, and then the actual logo of Lengren right there. So very, very excited. I got a decent sized piece of wood. Now, this is not something that anybody would take out on a hike or on the trails. However, this is a channel that tests out knives, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to use this piece of wood. We're going to test it out. Let's take a look at the sheath. Pancake style sheath, rivet holes, okay? Beautifully done. Leather belt loop. It's just a very, very nice setup. Let's pop the knife in. Man, it is nice and cool today here where I am living in Florida. It's actually a gorgeous day, and you know, I'm kind of glad I'm doing this right now inside my garage because it is windy out there. But as you can see, this is a nice setup. With that strap, no need to worry about the retention. It feels pretty good. I think this had a little, no, maybe not. Maybe it wasn't this knife. No rattle, very nice. Let's put it to the test, man. Let's see what this knife can do. All right, troops, pretty excited. Let's see what it can do, okay? Okay, I'm going to tell you right off the bat right now, this texturing right here, I got to say, it definitely hurts. It's hot spots. Might have to put on some gloves. However, it is grippy, you know, it is definitely grippy, but as you're swinging, man, oh man, is it pulling on the skin? So, you know, maybe to the Lengren rep, you might want to rethink this type of texturing here. However, it's still doing good. Let's keep going. Again, I'm not sure what this wood is, but it is hard as a rock. So now, you know what, this grip is pretty good. You know, it's grippy for sure. And you could see that the lanyard is pretty loose on me. I didn't have to tighten it up. But again, you know, it is gonna cause hot spots, plain and simple. I gotta call a spade here. I'm gonna be using every part of the blade as usual. Keep in mind, this is a channel that tests out knives, not something, you know, this is a tanto, not something that somebody would probably take out into the woods, but we're gonna put it to the test here on this channel. See that chunk that's coming right out right now? So anybody native to Florida who knows what this wood is, please tell me, because I want more of it. I think it's a pretty good test for the outdoors. You know, besides getting the Home Depot, you know, petrified wood. It's biting right in, man. Let's see. I mean, this thing is almost 8 millimeters thick, so I don't think the edge should have a problem. But without testing, we'll never know. So far, so good. And you could see it's definitely doing damage here. It's a chopper for sure. I'm just taking my time. I'm letting the blade do the work. All right, let's take a quick look at that. Yeah, that's looking good. And you could see the damage that this knife is doing, man. So with the 7.5 millimeter blade, front heavy, it's doing a hell of a job and not too bad over here. There is some hot spot, but so far it's not like I'm getting blisters or anything like that, so that's good. Let's just keep going here. Wow. Okay, now if you notice, I made my cuts real wide over here so I don't get hung up. So I'm going in a nice angle over here. So far, I mean, it's doing the job, you know? That was a serious chop right there. Nice. Let's see. That edge looks really good. In fact, 1 second, troops. While you're looking at that, nice. That was pretty awesome for a tanto. Let's move on. All right, check that out, man. That is insane. I mean, a tanto doing that kind of chopping, not bad at all. That edge looks good. Let's do some batoning and see how she works out. Already splitting the wood, so that's good. Okay, what I like about this wood, it's pretty gnarly. All right, so you can see it's like all twisted on the inside. Okay, so not a normal piece of wood, that's for sure. At least that's what I'm noticing. Well, let's keep going. Let me make some quarters out of this. Not bad. See if I can do a little more. Cool. Okay, we made some nice little kindling over here. Let's do it one more time. Now, 8mm thick, I don't think we're going to have too much of a problem here. Okay, not bad, man. I mean, you know, we're talking about a tanto over here that I know a lot of people are going to have something to say about, but she's doing fine, man. One more, just one more. Let me see if I could just do with my hands. Yeah, nice. Awesome. Okay. Very cool, man. Let me just clean up this area. Let's do a little bit of horizontal batoning, yeah? Okay, let's utilize the whole blade. See if I can make thirds with this. Still a little strand over here. Okay, very, very weird wood, for sure. But you know what? It's tough wood, so good testing. It'll be good for testing. Let's try it again. Once again, utilizing the whole blade, so that secondary bevel is tested. Nice. See how that wood is just, instead of going straight, it's split off to the side? Weird. Absolutely weird. Let's cut these fibers. No problem. Okay, all right, so now I have no doubt that we could just, you know, do some horizontal batoning all day. Let's test out this tip, all right? Let's see. And again, I'm going to use it smart. I'm going to, you know, with the grain to help it out, but I'll do it here in the middle. Nice. Tip is good, right? You can see that tip ain't going to come off like some other companies, you know? Let's do it again, man. Oh, that's, you know what, let me be safe. This one is kind of squirrely. Let's try this one right here. Nice, let me pick that up. Okay, you could see how that tip is just penetrating right through the wood, right all the way down. So that's cool. All right, let me see if I could do this one safely. I want to do one more right here in the middle. That was a decent test. Let's see. She's good, and you could see how thick that tip is, man. You know, I don't think anything is going to happen, but, you know, that's insane. It's an insane thick tip. There you go. More kindling. Tip test for those who don't want a baton. You know, you find a nice small piece of wood and you want to just cut up your wood into kindling with the tip. You know, not bad for a tanto, man. It's definitely doing the outdoors. Let's do some other testing. Okay, I'm going to do a little finer work. I want to make a tent stake, so I found a nice long stick over here. I think it's the same type of wood, but before we move on, let's once again. And you could see, you know, all the scuffing on the blade. So I am utilizing the whole blade, but let's see. So far, so good, man. So edge retention is still there. Let's make a, you know, I'm going to do some cross batoning over here. Make some smaller pieces, and then I'm going to make a tent stake. See how the finer stuff works out. So let's give it a go. All right, you can see the nice clean cut. Let's do it again. Okay, perfect. That came off of this piece right here, and you can see how nice that is. I got myself a nice little tent stake, and I've got future pieces for future testing, which is good. Let's just put that down. Okay, let's just do some of the finer work, right? I know it's a thick, big blade. In fact, let me choke up on this choil. I know some of you out there despise the choil. I, for one, like it. I like to make it work. Been a while since I made a tent stake, but as you can see, that's nicely rounded off now. Let's make that that number 7 here. You can see I'm utilizing my thumb. Hold on a second, troops. Okay, sorry, troops. I just had a guest pop in. I just wanted to pause the video. Let's continue now. I am definitely getting a hot spot over here, okay, that I'm choked up. This is causing a bit of a hot spot. Okay, I'm not going to lie to anybody. It's still doable, but it is causing a bit of a hot spot. So just be aware of that. Now, I'm not saying that this is a bushcraft knife. This is more combat, you know, more tactical. But once again, push comes to shove, or if this is something that you like and you want to take out into the woods, just a demonstration that it is capable. And this wood is definitely hard, okay? But doing the job. Not the best number 7, you know, but I'm sure it'll hold a lanyard right there, right? So good enough as just a small demonstration. Now let's make this tip over here and choke up a little. Been a while since I made one of these, so I'm kind of glad that I was able to find the wood. And I got to tell you, I kind of like doing this in my garage. It's not so bad. You know, my equipment is just a couple of feet away, and I get it just doesn't take a lot of time to set up, you know. Got a studio in my garage. Doing a little chopping here. Now this is good enough, man. You know, to put into the ground. But if you wanted to make a point, you know, you just whittle away. Or for primitive hunters, if you want to make a pit, with some stakes. I mean, that'll do the job right here. You make the tip a little bit more robust. Okay? Nice. And then you just tap away with the flat surface. I think it'll work just fine. So just an example of some finer work. Not that I'm saying that it's a bushcraft knife, but if you need to do some of the finer work, maybe you're a soldier, you need to do some finer work, you know, the art of warfare, out in the field, there you go, man. Not bad. I was just processing this to make some feather sticks, you know, individual curls. And, you know, I'm just using the sharpness of the blade over here to, whoops, that's too weak. But I was just using the sharpness of the blade over here to, you know, split this wood. And this wood is really easy to work with, man. I got to find out what this is, because this is like some of the best stuff I ever worked with. But, okay, so I also have some of that hard dried kiln wood I want to test out to see how the edge retention is. But I want to start off with the wood that I processed first. So let's make some individual curls here with this knife. Wow. That is just still crazy sharp, man. After that bit of abuse with this knife. And I gotta tell you, I enjoyed making that tent stake. I thought it was pretty cool. But individual curls, real easy to make. Oh man, this is... I'll take this out into the woods. I know a lot of you probably wouldn't, but you know, so far, man, you can see how nice and thin those curls are that I'm making. I am using the angle over here of the branch, of the kindling that I processed, and it's great. It's really great. Look at that. All right, that's a good demonstration, right? So if you're not very good at making feather sticks, you could just make a big pile of this right here and you are all set. Hold on a second, troops. I got a prime delivery. 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Wishful thinking. I thought it was a package for me, but it wasn't. So now I made the individual curls. I showed you that. Let me see if I can make a feather stick for everybody. Get something good over here. As always, got to get used to the knife again, you know. Well, once again, this is some really good stuff. I just don't know how it burns. Because we're not allowed any kind of a fire pit over here in this HOA area, so. But I would love to see how this burns. Okay, so the knife is sharp enough to make a feather stick for sure. So I'll probably do a couple more off camera. But no problems here with the edge. Now, you know what? Let me test out this hard stuff right here. Okay, this is that kiln dried wood. So let's see how it works out. Wow, it's windy today. This is the hard stuff right here. Okay, so it's doing it. Yep, it's doing it. She's sharp, man. It's a sharp knife still. So, and last but not least, I have a little bit of the fat wood over here. I want to make some nice thin layers. Yep, look at that. Nice and thin, man. Just using the very edge of this to make these nice fine little curls over here, as you could see. Yeah, I'm digging this, man. This knife is baller. Check it out. How nice and thin that is. Cool. All right, let's do the camp stuff. I've got some possible camp materials that somebody might take on a hike or a weekend camping outing or something. So just want to show you just a few things. So let's start off with the paracord. All right, got some, I think this is 500 paracord. So let's take this out and cut it up. No problem. So it's kind of hard to do the push cut, right? Because it's so flat. So, I mean, if you have something rounded off like a log, but you're just better off, doing this instead, which is easy enough. Okay, so that's good. I have something a little bit thicker here. This is 1100. All right, let's see if I could just double it up for everybody. Okay, real easy. All the strands came out, nice. That's a mess. Okay, so now that that's done, I've got some of this seatbelt material right over here. Let's try it. Okay, pretty easy to cut. Once again, all right, pretty efficient. I have some thin and thick rope that I got from the dollar store, okay? Easy to cut. Do a little chopping maybe, okay? Make tinder out of it. What have you. There you go. I don't know. Some people carry jute with them. Maybe you just need the knife to cut the rope a little bit. And I got a little bit thinner stuff over here. A little chop. And then a little slice, okay? So that's looking good. So we've got 5 of the materials, and I got a piece of plastic over here. Hopefully, some of you do take some twist ties. I see a lot, you know, it's lightweight, real nice benefit to have it out there in the field. And, you know, even if you're law enforcement, real easy to cut, man, just real easy. Let me see if I could do 2 of these. Yeah, man, real good. Okay, one more thing, let's try scraping. So I want to test out the spine now. Well, I don't think, you could see it's really rounded off over here, so there's no way. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know if it's just the wood. It looks like this particular wood, looks like it's working out okay. It's not that efficient. It's not like it's doing it real significant. But let's try it on the fat wood now. Because I think I just got lucky with this wood. So let's just try it on the fat wood. It's very little where the jimping area is. I mean, you really have to dig deep for the fat wood. I don't know. It's doing it. It's doing it. Let me try this. Now that's rounded off too, but let's try this area over here. I'll pick that up in a second. Yeah, very little. Very little. That's rounded off. I'm surprised because the jimping area in this area is very rounded off. Let's try it with the fat wood. Once again, this area right over here. I'm not getting anything. Once again, very little. Yeah, nothing too major. One second, let me try something. Okay, so let's see if this area is sharp. Or this area right here. I think it needs some sharpening. Not very efficient. It might take you a while, and then you would need a platform similar to this this stump over here to really do anything fruitful, I guess. And let me try the piece of wood. I guess you got to use some ingenuity, you know, some critical thinking sometimes. Try and get things accomplished. But definitely would probably benefit from a sharpening on the, work sharp or a belt sander for sure. So that's the only thing. Let me just pick up that ferro rod. Let's test out if it'll spark. Okay, so I'm not trying to start a fire here in my garage. Let me just move this out of the way. And as you can see, it's very little. It's going to take a lot of effort, but maybe that's enough, you know? I mean, a little bit of effort, this might be enough for some of you. So let me just... Okay. There we go. All right, good. So the edge over here is sparkling. Let's see that at the very tip. This is, I learned from level 3 readiness, who learned from another content creator that this is not the best fire steel. It's not Swedish, some kind of Chinese made steel. So not the best, but it looks like it's doing it. Not a very efficient, but again, push comes to shove, you at least know that this knife can do it in a pinch. And I doubt you're going to get anything else over here where everything is rounded off. See? Nope. There you go, troops. All right, so that's the only thing. That's the only flaw of this knife. You're not going to get the best sparks here. But the rest, she did pretty good. Little fluff over here, nothing major. But I'm digging this knife. Let's conclude. There you have it, troops, the King Kong II, a total beast. Now, in my opinion, this knife is more for combat, tactical utility. However, as you could see from the video, it did the outdoors and it did it well, man. And shaving sharp still, the knife is doing just fine. I'm digging this knife. Let me know what you all think about this knife. And just want to also say, we hit 10 grand. We're over 10,000 subscribers. Just want to say thank you very much. I couldn't have done it without you all. Really appreciate it. Let me bring awareness, everybody. Hashtag 22 a day, hashtag 22 a day more. There are veterans in active military. Once they get out of the service, they do face a lot of challenges. Unfortunately, one of these challenges is suicide. So at the end of this video, there'll be some slides that you could pause on. Okay, you can call those phone numbers. You could surf those websites. There's also a heartfelt message from one of your own, Martin Miller, Vietnam veteran. Please seek the help you all have earned and deserve. Troops, legionnaires, new recruits, thanks again. At the ready, troops, hold the line. Take care.
Legionnaires!